All right, it looks like it's 4 o'clock on the dot right now. My name is Aisha Simpson. I am your wellness and benefits consultant. This today's session is going to be facilitated by your wonderful, wonderful President David Navarre of MTA. This session will be recorded, and so it for a couple of the questions that popped into the chat box. Yes, this will be recorded. So you will be able to view it for later viewing. So if you have any questions or have to fall off the line for whatever reason, just know that you'll be able to access it. We will be having also the benefits department here on the line as well. And without further ado, David, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Asia. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you being here this Wednesday afternoon. If you're here, you are either retiring or thinking about retirement in the near future. So we'll cover what happens to your benefits, your health benefits, once you retire, and a little bit about what happens now, or where we're at now if you're an active employee. So I will have start my sharing my presentation in just a moment. Asia, if you could let me know if you can see and if it's in presentation mode. It is in presentation mode. Great, thank you. So here in Montebello, we have the Montebello Teachers Association Retiree Supplemental.
Presentation mode. Sorry.
I'm sorry, what?
It's not in presentation mode if you want to hit the presentation at the bottom right.
All right, here, let me try it again. There
There
it is. Oh, there we go. We have the Montebello Teachers Association's Retiree Supplemental Health Plan, known as the trust to many of us. Why do we have a trust fund? Well, it is for us to support each other as actives and retirees. And we're going to go way back in history. Our trust has been in existence for over 30 years. In 1986, there was a meeting at Sher High School. In 87, council approved the plan for distribution to membership. There were public hearings in 1987. I was still in high school. No, I was prior to high school. In 1987, there was a ratification vote. It was approved, 94.1%, overwhelming approval. So this has been in existence for a very long time. The trust fund is governed by the trust fund committee. There are 5 trustees and 2 ex officio non-voting members. Currently, and you know what, I should go back a little bit here. It's 5 trustees. One of them is the president. We also have normally the past president and the executive director as ex officio non-voting members. Currently, these are your trustees. You'll note that Julian de la Torre is there. We have a retiree on the board of trustees, and he is currently our retired trustee. Who is eligible for the trust? To be eligible for the trust, you have to have a minimum of 15 years of contributory service. You have to retire under STRS. Be eligible for district retiree health benefits. No longer receive benefits for health insurance premiums from the district, and we'll go into a little bit more detail regarding this. And of course, if you're no longer eligible, you are age 67. While you're employed, if you're here, you're most likely employed by the district today. While you are employed, the district pays the amount set by the insurance committee. MUSD and MTA have negotiated a great benefit to our members. Currently, most everyone pays 0. The only two plans that require an employee contribution are PERS Gold and PERS Platinum, and it is only $10. Everything else, it is a 0 contribution from the member, and that is not usual. Many other surrounding districts have the members contribute a considerable amount, hundreds if not thousands of dollars. So it's that's a win for our district and for our members and our association. If you retire, when you retire, if you are under age 67, the district will pay a negotiated portion. Currently, this year, 2025, it is $1,710. and the retirees pay the difference if it is greater than that. That amount is negotiated established, not negotiated, established every fall. So for next year, for 2026, it will be established in the fall of 2025. Retirees may purchase dental, vision, life, and long-term health care insurance through the district. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go along. This is what happens when you are retired and under age 67. When you get to age 67, the district stops paying everything. They are no longer involved in paying your health benefits. That's when the MTA trust fund kicks in and reimburses members up to $500 the cost of their premium. It is a reimbursement of up to $500. If the premium is, let's say, $350, you only get reimbursed $350. You do not get the entire $500. If it is greater, you are reimbursed that's $499.65 currently, and the member has to pay the difference. That reimbursement is set by the trust fund committee, those members that I mentioned earlier. Currently, it is $500. It can go up, it can go down. I do not anticipate it going down. I do anticipate in the future it increasing, but that's for the trustees to decide. The way it is financed and funded is by member contributions. Currently, our active members pay $300 per month for 10 months per year. Retirees under age 67 also pay that $300 a month for 10 months until they receive benefits at age 67. The rate will increase by $50 per month for 2025, 2026. This is often a question, what happens if I pass away prior to receiving benefits? Well, there is a death benefit if in the unlikely event that anyone passes away prior to receiving a benefit, their beneficiary will receive every single dollar that the member contributed to the trust fund. If they begin to receive benefits and they receive benefits for less than 48 months, then the beneficiary receives a lump sum equal to 12 times the allowable monthly benefits. Currently, we have 1,000 retirees on the books. About 80% of them receive benefits through the trust. And the trust pays more than $3.5 million per year in premium reimbursements. We have a trust, some financial investments. Currently, the market value for our investments was $16.6 million. That was as of, December 31st, 2024. The money is invested, as you see on this pie graph, mostly in fixed income, 13% in domestic equity and 12% in international equity. The trust fund is governed by federal law, so there are guidelines that the trust fund must follow when investing these monies. So, you're close to retirement. One thing that when you retire and you go through this process, you will have to designate one financial institution for payments and reimbursements. In the past, it had to be Camino. It no longer has to be Camino. It can be a financial institution of your choice. So CalPERS determines the premiums, and they are dependent on where you live. They're different for different counties in California, or whether you live outside of California. And you can access more information on this on our website under trust fund. I believe it is. Some important numbers for you to have. And if you have questions on or any issues with enrollment, an open enrollment, go directly through CalPERS, not through the district and not through MTA. That includes policy selection, eligibility, adding and deleting dependents. All district and trust reimbursements are distributed through COAST benefits to your designated financial institution. The trust is supported by those you see on the screen. We have the plan administrator, COAST benefits. We have a consultant and actuary, a new legal counsel, Wagner Law Group, and principally Neelam Chanda. Varus is our investment consultants, and we have a new plan auditor, Miller Kaplan. This will be our first year with Miller Kaplan. So in review, if you are a retiree, age 67 or younger, the district reimburses up to $1,710 in 2025. If you are a retiree above age 67, then you are, excuse me, your account is reimbursed up to $500 in 2025. And if you're not eligible for reimbursement, then you are effectively on your own. In addition to health, and what I've been speaking to is really health insurance, there is also dental, vision, and life insurance programs. It is important that if you are interested in continuing those, coverage not lapse. Once it lapses, it is no longer, you can no longer restore it. These are the costs for VSP vision, and we have the cost for dental as well here.
David, can I say a bit about the dental part of things?
Yes, of course.
So I want to remind you all that as once you retire from the district, one of your benefits, as David mentioned, is dental. Something that is different for you as a retiree is you have the option of one of two dental plans. There's the dental PPO, which is what you're most familiar with now because it mirrors the plan that you would have as an active employee. So that one is the first one that you see here, where the rates are 80 for single, 160 for two party, and 190 for family. That type of plan is a bit more comprehensive, and it does allow you a lot more flexibility in the provider that you see. You don't have to previously have a dentist established as your dentist before you go see them. You would simply want to make sure that they are accepting patients, and you would want to call and ask them if they are a MetLife contracted dentist. They don't have to be, but it behooves you if they do, because then your out-of-pocket costs can significantly be reduced. But if the dental PPO is a little bit more costly than what you anticipated, or you really don't want to pay, there is a less expensive option, which is the dental HMO. The dental HMO works a lot like your HMO that you have for your health plan, in the fact that you need to make sure that you establish your dentist first. You need to let MetLife know who you want to be your dentist before you go to see them. It has to be set up in the system before you start to seek services from that particular dentist. They have like a downloaded list or access to a list of their patients who have them designated as a dentist. So if you try to go to see them before you have them designated, you could be turned away for service. So that's an important element to make sure that you keep in mind with that. And then the other thing is that with a dental HMO, it is a lot more restrictive. You can't just go to any dentist that you want. You have to make sure that the dentist that you select is a dentist within the MetLife network. So as you can see, it's less expensive, but it is more restrictive. And for some people, that might not be a problem. So that might be the route that you go. As David mentioned, you do need to make sure you have continuous insurance for your dental and vision if you want to participate in the dental and vision offered through the district. But what you can do is, if you start off with a dental PPO and you think, you know what, I want to try to save some money next time around, at open enrollment, you can select the dental HMO. You would have to keep it for the year. And if you like it, then great, then you can stick with it. But if you decide you want to go back to the dental PPO, you can do that at the next open enrollment. Just keep in mind there can be no breaks in coverage. So just, don't think, okay, I will stick with the dental PPO for the first month or two after I retire, and then I'll drop it, then I'll come back. That's not an option. You have to stay continuously enrolled. So those are some important facts to remember about the dental HMO and PPO. One other last quick fact with the dental HMO, I know the question may be in your mind, well, how do I know what dentist to choose? So you can always contact MetLife directly and they can help you find a dentist. And you really want to narrow it down based off of, do you want to see a dentist in a specific zip code or a certain area? Is there an office that you want to see if they are part of the MetLife network? Give some specific details because that'll help narrow down the list. Otherwise, if you just give a zip code, you may get a whole long list of dentists. So it helps to kind of narrow it down. And if you have a portal, your online portal set up through MetLife, then you should be able to also go into your portal, log in, and search that way. And in fact, I don't think you even have to be logged in for a portal. I think you can actually just go onto the MetLife website and search based off of criteria such as zip code or city or a particular practice, and it will provide you with a list of dentists that you can select. My suggestion, though, is that you always call the dentist and make sure they're still contracted with MetLife because none of the dentists or doctors or any of that, they're not required to be in contract with any of the plans indefinitely. So, they may decide to leave, or sometimes people pass away and they're no longer in the practice. So just for your own sake and ease, just contact the dentist's office and make sure that they are still accepting patients and that dentist is still, contracted with MetLife. All right, I'll turn it back over to you, David.
And a little bit more information on dental, some benefit enhancements to remember. You can also purchase life insurance and long-term care directly through SISC or through UNUM. There's a number there if you have any questions about long-term health care. Now, the most important slide, I think, is this contact information page here. If you have questions for retiree dental or vision, those you contact Vivian Lamalley or Laura Simmons. Coast benefits is the people to contact, specifically Courtney Bowles, for questions on dental, vision, billing, and updates to your financial institution. CalPERS for questions on explanations on benefits to your health plan. You have a number for Medicare. If you have any questions navigating CalPERS, then Asia Simpson, who is here with us today, her email is there. And the office, the MTA office for questions on MTA membership, whether you're active or retiree. We also have a number for CalSTRS, and this is available on our website as well. And that is the end of the slideshow. We'll open it up for questions. And if you have a question, that you could please use the raise hand icon, if I could find it, reaction icon. Is that what we're using? Yes, click on
Yeah,
react and then
chat
raise
box.
hand.
I've been answering questions in the chat box. But David, before you go to questions, I just wanted to share a couple pieces of helpful information to everyone that I think was helpful in previous presentations. When you get ready to retire, there's a couple places that I think will help you with information. The first one is if you're retiring and you're under the age of 67, I'm sure you're going to want to know where will it be posted, the reimbursement amounts, what are the dental and vision rates, where can I go to see that information? And you can, correct me if I'm wrong, but typically that is also posted on the MTA webpage, but it's also on the benefits webpage. And if you all don't mind, I would like to just kind of show you where that is so that you have an idea of where to look. And David, if you don't mind, I'll just show everyone
Sure.
where that is. So I'll start first since we're on the MTA is facilitating this. I want to start with the MTA website because I know some of you are familiar with the MTA website, but may have not gone to the retirees website because obviously you're not retired. But there's a lot of good information. So if you go to the MTA webpage and on the far right, there is a tab for retirees. And when you click to this tab, you see some of the previous information that was presented last year. There's the town hall for those who are already retired. And then there is information here in the middle of the page where you see MUSD, VSP, and MetLife dental rates. You'll see that information. And then you'll see the MUSD letter to retirees. This is where you can find information on so this was for plan year January 1 through December 24. So this has all of the dental rate information, and it also has what the reimbursement amount is for MTA. So that was the previous year. Now there is current information that is available. So let me just show you also where to find some additional information. And you can go to the Montebello website. Let's see here. Benefits. Oh, actually, you know what? I have a tab saved. So if you go to the Montebello website, you go to units and benefits. And on this page, on the right-hand side, you'll see the retiree letter. That's the 2025 one. And it will reference the information that David actually mentioned in the presentation, which is obviously all the dental and vision rates. And it will also reference what he mentioned in the presentation, which is the reimbursement amount for 2025, which is $1,710. This amount changes each year, as David mentioned. So this is usually posted on the benefits webpage. The benefits department is really good about posting this on their webpage. It usually comes out around the fall, like October timeframe is when it's posted. And it's always posted for the upcoming year. So you will never find yourself in a situation where you're in a current year and that information is not available. So this information will always be posted on the benefits page the year before. So for the 2026 year, if you want to come on back over to the benefits webpage at around October, November-ish timeframe, it will actually be posted for the next year. Keep in mind, these rates are valid for January 1 through December 31st of 2025. So, and it says that on here. So just good information on here, contact information for Vivian and for Laura. As David also mentioned, when you retire, who you refer to for changes, policy changes, eligibility, questions on plan, that becomes CalPERS. So that's an important thing to remember. CalPERS becomes your health benefits officer. Now, if you forget everything that David talked about and everything that I talked about today, like completely forget it, you can either A, watch the recording, or you can B, give me an email or give me a call, and I'm happy to help refresh your memory on that. So those are two important things that I thought would be helpful for me to show you guys where that is. All right, I'm sorry. You can go ahead and take it over with the questions, David.
And since you brought up sharing, if you don't mind, I would like to share where you can also find on our website. And let me know if you can see. Can you see that?
Yes.
All right. So once you are retired, you want to go under benefits here, and then you can see, well, this is for actually actives if you're still working, but if you go to retirees where Asia had been prior, and you go to health benefits on the left, you click on here if you're under age 67, here if you're over 67, but you will see the rates, and you can see up on top the counties. If you're in LA, it's going to be, I believe, the third page right here. And then there's also an out-of-state page as well. And those are the rates you can see there. Retiree with Medicare, retiree independent with Medicare, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to point that out, and then we can go to the questions. Let me stop. I did see a question about 15 years of service. 15 years of service means 15 years of contributory service. You have to have contributed to the trust fund for 15 years, and that we do as certificated employees. Or you could also be administrator. Administrators also contribute if they so choose to do so. Any other questions? We can use the chat. We can also use the reaction button. Click on react and then your raised hand icon. and then that puts them in order.
Okay. All right, so I wanted to mention a couple of things with regards to Medicare. So there are some important pieces of things that when you're approaching the age of 65, that you definitely want to make sure that you know and that you take advantage of. When you're about to turn 65, you become Medicare eligible. If you are retired around that time or retiring close to the age of 65, you want to make sure that you are applying for Medicare at least 3 months before you turn 65. You want to do that through going through and applying through Social Security, or you can go onto the Medicare.gov webpage. This is not something that's just strictly for MTA or strictly for classified. Applying for Medicare when you are approaching 65 is something for all U.S. citizens. And so you really need to do that. And it's important for you to do that if you decide to continue with your CalPERS health plans into retirement into 65. Because if you do not apply for Medicare, you will not be able to continue with your health plan through CalPERS. So that's a very important thing to remember. Um, I'm sure you have many questions around Medicare. And because I know you have many questions around Medicare, we do workshops. We actually are doing two of them this year. We're going to do one in the spring. The first one will be May 15th. And a flyer will actually be going out closer to that workshop. We don't want to send it out to you now and then you forget, or it goes into your junk mail, but we will send it out closer to the workshop. But if for whatever reason you cannot make that workshop, you have two options. Number one, we will record that, and we will also provide the slides that are presented during that workshop. And then there will also be another workshop in the fall or winter. It'll be in November. November 7th is when it's scheduled. And we will do the same thing. We'll record it and provide the slides. That workshop will go over Medicare Part A and Part B, which are the parts that you will need to apply for if you are you need to apply for it in general, but if you especially are looking to continue your CalPERS health plans. But it will talk about what Medicare Part A and B are, what C and D is, and how they kind of play together. And it will give you an opportunity to ask questions. Some of the primary questions we get are, what happens if I'm still working and I'm Medicare age? So we'll answer all of those types of questions. So again, if you have questions in detail around Medicare, make sure you attend that workshop. But when you retire, keep in mind, age 65, 3 months before you turn 65, you want to make sure that you are applying for Medicare. One other quick point I want to mention to you is when you start to get closer to the age of 65, you will likely be bombarded with lots of mail. Some of it will be mail from your current plan, or you think it's your current plan. Do not enroll in anything from anybody that you get from a mailer if you are planning to stay with your CalPERS health plan, because it could kick you out of your current plan. I know that it seems like, okay, I'm on Kaiser. I got this letter from Kaiser. There are Kaiser offers plans through a lot of different entities, and the one that you got a flyer from may not even be through CalPERS. But some paperwork you always want to keep your eye out for and you want to hold on to is anything from Social Security Administration, anything from CalPERS, and anything from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Those are things that you want to make sure you're keeping your eye out for, you're paying attention to. If there's anything that's being requested of you, you want to respond to those notices in a timely manner. But what you're going to notice is that a lot of what you get is going to be solicitation mail. But those are the three that you really want to keep your eye out for. And I'll reiterate that again, if you are able to attend the Medicare 101 workshop. Also, the Medicare 101 workshop recordings, Laura usually posts those on the benefits page. So just keep that in mind too. If you miss both of those sessions for whatever reason, just head on over to the benefits page and that information the recording will be there. Okay.